I suppose I'll be, in this instance, repeating myself to a certain degree and repeating things that both Barbaros and I have said in the past, but this video I wanted to make, or have been wanting to make for a while, because I just noticed this ongoing trend in the so-called manosphere, a term I dislike, but I can find at the moment no better substitute for it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was on Facebook, and I saw this anti-feminism, one of these threads. It was a bunch of guys, supposedly, I don't know what they were, traditionalists, MGTOW, whatever, arguing back and forth with women. And eventually, the comment section blew up and turned into an exchange of, well over 300 comments back and forth. And I tried to actually intervene. I said, why are you wasting your time? Why are you arguing with these women/feminists? It is a waste of time. But I actually see this theme as being recurrent. So let me enjoin you to remind yourselves of one of Girl Writes What's older videos, back when she made videos. And she said, in a sense, I'm paraphrasing here, that feminism effectively is the women's biggest shit test ever. And I would be inclined to agree with that. And I'd also be inclined to say that we've identified, I believe correctly, that feminism in large measure is simply human female biology made manifest into a political organism, whatever. We all know that men hop about paying attention to the needs and wants of women. I'm here to say, again, because it needs to be said again, that you need to stop paying attention to women, stop arguing with them, stop talking to them. Don't argue with women feminists, whatever. It's a waste of time. And let me tell you why it's a waste of time. Feminism would not have come about if men had not, for the better part of their existence on this earth, constantly paid attention to the needs and wants and whinging and desires of women. The nagging principle, right? I mean, what is feminism but in some sense a giant nag? They're nagging the world, and particularly men, to pay attention to what their demands. If men had ignored the wants and, or rather, the clamors and the noise, the clamor and noise that women had made during the primal years of feminism, we wouldn't be in this mess, possibly. Possibly we would, but the point I'm trying to make is just that feminism came about because people paid attention to what the women were saying and what feminism was saying. It doesn't do anyone any good to argue back and forth with feminists or women. Remember, the entirety of gynocentric power lies in the fact that the world pays attention to women when they complain, when they want something, when there's an issue, and so on and so forth. This is the base of their power base. You can cut that off by effectively not engaging with them. Now, look, there are pressing issues, of course. The white ribbon campaign or whatever. The white ribbon campaign, which effectively declares, all men are violent criminals, rapists, so on and so forth. Okay, fair enough. Maybe you're inclined, particularly as an MRA, to combat that, to argue back and forth. It's never going to get through. You're arguing against human biology. You're arguing against female human biology, and you're arguing against the fact that most men are not going to help you out with your arguments. They're just going to get in the line, get in the queue, and toe the line. That's the way men are. Men exist to serve, and women exist to receive. The best defense against an organization such as, or a campaign such as the White Ribbon Campaign, or any of the things that feminists tend to do, is to withdraw and to not pay them any attention the time of day. They want to call men rapists and violent and this and that, but let them. You know, in fact, I'll tell you that I'm not interested in talking to. I'm not interested in talking to women, engaging with them. Just show them that you're not interested in having anything to do with them. You know, you don't want to rape them. You don't even want to talk to them. You don't want anything to do with them. This I see ultimately as a much better solution than constantly bickering with women back and forth. I mean, maybe some of these guys, my impression was they were quite young, get off on it, but it is a waste of time arguing back and forth with women. It really is, and particularly with feminists. Maybe it's good if you want to get attention. But my question is, why are you still, and I'm using a generic you as in you encompassing people, why are you still arguing with feminists and women? You're arguing against female biology effectively. It's a waste of time. And the best thing you can do to change the status quo, if it's possible at all, is to stop paying attention to it. Men paid too much attention to what women wanted in the past. That's how we ended up in large measure in the mess we are right now. They continue to do so, and that's how we get Anita Sarkeesian. Do you think the majority of the donors to Anita Sarkeesian were female? I think not. I'm willing to bet money that most of them were male. Men pay way too much attention to what women want, and if Gerard's what is correct in a sense that feminism is a giant collective shit test, well, it's best to not play into it and play along with it. Stop paying attention. Arguing back and forth is not going to change anything. In fact, I'm willing to make a prediction that 10 years from now, if I'm still alive, we're all still alive, applying that principle will have gotten us just as far as we are now, which is effectively nowhere. Waste of time. I'm not interested in arguing with women and talking to women and engaging with women. I'm certainly not interested in beating women. I'm not interested in having sex with women. I'm not interested in raping women. I want nothing to do with women. And this, it seems to me, extreme and radical as it might sound, is a far more sensible policy than arguing back and forth. You are feeding the fire. You're adding fuel to the fire. You're feeding the beast. You're acknowledging, in part, the validity of their claims by arguing with them. If you turn your back on them, you're acknowledging nothing. In fact, in this sense, they effectively become non-entities. People, whether men or women, who advocate silly things such as, most men are rapists or whatever, they deserve to have their backs turned on. There's no reason to engage with them. They're not interested in a rational discussion. They're not offering on their ends a rational discourse. You turn your back and you leave. What could be simpler than that? Arguing back and forth is a waste of time. And many of us had learned this a long time ago, but I think this lesson has been lost to many people in the so-called manosphere. It's also why I think the MRA is, we know what the MRA has accomplished, which is effectively next to nothing. Part of it is because the idea of forming a coalition of men for the sake of men's rights, when men in general, most men, don't look out for each other, don't give a shit about each other, and would much rather curry the favor of women on the whole than team up for the sake of men. And they have this organization, and they're arguing back and forth with feminists about stats and whatever. An argument, a rational discussion is only valuable, or rather, a discussion is only valuable if both people are rational, both people are interested in the evidence, or both ends of the discussion, people on the ends of the discussion are interested in the possibility of changing their minds. I don't see feminism, radical or otherwise, interested in that. I don't even see most women as being interested in that. Women. Well, people in general, but women even more so, are much less interested in the truth and what makes them feel good about things. So, waste of time arguing back and forth. And like I said, I'll repeat it. If you're a feminist or you're a woman, Generally speaking, and I make individual exceptions, of course, but regarding these issues, I'm not only not interested in raping and beating you, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to engage with you. I want nothing to do with you, period. And this applies, unfortunately, to the vast majority of people, but specifically the vast majority of women out there who fall in line with feminist ideology, and they do so because that's feminist ideology is female biology made manifest in reality. It's been talked about ad nauseum. I'm not going to repeat it again and again, but here, this has been shown, demonstrated. Bart Russell's made videos. I've made videos. You're arguing with something that just not you can't change it. A much better plan, and these are my final thoughts, is to not engage with it. Paying too much attention to women has, at least in part, got us to where we are right now. Listening to their every complaint, their shenanigans, their criticisms. Where's that gotten men collectively as the other half of the human species? Well, not very far. And this is why things such as the MRA and the like are just doomed enterprises from the get-go. They're arguing against human biology, and their people they're arguing with aren't interested in facts. And far, far better strategy, it might sound nihilistic, as some people like to claim, but it's just turn your back on the whole thing and turn your back on that system in particular, the system of engaging in discourse, which is not actual discourse, but rather disputes, fights with women and feminists, online or otherwise. Pretty pointless, I think, and a waste of energy. Better come up with some original ideas for individual men to improve their lives than to argue back and forth with feminists and women in general. We got into the mess that we got into because we paid too much attention to women. It's time to stop paying attention to women and to stop paying attention to women at all. I mean, just cold turkey. Don't talk to them unless you have to. Just don't engage with them. There's no point, at least on these issues. You know? If they want to talk about something unrelated to that, I'll talk to women. But when it comes to these issues, there's no point. We know how it's going to turn out 99% of the time. Waste of fucking time. Don't do it. So I'll repeat one last time. We got into this mess that we're in now on a global level by paying attention, way too much attention, to women's wants, complaints, needs, clamoring, so on and so forth. And the best solution to that is to do the opposite and stop paying attention. Stop arguing with women, stop paying attention to women and feminists or otherwise when it comes to these issues. Just leave it all behind and go your own way. And yeah, I think MRAs should go their own way too, because they're wasting their time and energy doing it too. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that topic. And I've just begun the first smidgen of my next video, big video. So who knows how long that'll take. Until the next time, may the gods, as always, watch over you. Bye-bye.